What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Isaiah. Welcome to the final round. Today, I'm going to be recapping the UFC Fight Night that just took place last night between Taira Taira and Hanson Park. It's a pretty good fight night. Had some really good fights toward the end. Had some good finishes on the card. Um, and yeah, let's get right into it. First fight of the night, we had Pierre Rodriguez versus Ketlin Souza. They're pretty back and forth type of fight, kind of like what I predicted with a women's fight this close. I picked Pierre Rodriguez to win this fight. I think she was able just to land the more slick combinations, land the cleaner shots. Souza was, able to get it down to the ground a little bit, but or she tried to get down to the ground a little bit. My bad. She never got any of them. Pierre Rodriguez was the one who got the fight to the ground, and just controlled her on the ground and landed the better shots and got the victory by split decision. Uh, Definitely looked sloppy in some exchanges. Definitely against a more higher caliber type of fighter, she could get beaten in those exchanges, but she got a good win over Ketlin Souza. Felipe Bo- I still haven't fixed it. Felipe Boons versus Rafael Estevam. I was wrong in this fight. I thought Rafael Estevam was going to gas in the third round, and Felipe was going to be able to pull ahead and get a finish. And you kind of saw that slowly starting to happen. Felipe was having more success in the third round, in my opinion. Rafael did miss weight coming into this fight, so he needs to get that in the check or move up to the next division. But he got a good decision victory over Felipe. Kind of just landed a lot more of her strikes, landed the takedowns, and just piece Felipe up for all three rounds. Felipe really didn't show he had much of anything. He stayed in there every round, but each round clearly kind of was just Rafael's round. So good win by him. Next, we had Austin Bashi versus John Yanis. I predicted Austin Bashi to get this fight done by submission. He did get it done in the second round. This looked to be better every single way than John Yanis, on the ground, on the feet, everywhere. He just showed he was a better fighter, more polished fighter, more UFC caliber type of fighter. And so that sucked for John Yanis, short notice, but yeah, Austin Bashi was able to get the submission and get his first win in the UFC. So it was a good win by him, and just looked completely dominant the whole fight. Honestly, I don't know who you give him next, but he could have a good future. We'll see. Nick Klein versus Andre Pulev. I picked Andre Pulev to win this fight. It was a bit bit hairy in the first round, like it always is with Nick Klein. Nick Klein started insanely hard, insanely fast, just like he did in the Mansour fight, because it helped him in the Mansour fight, because he hurt Mansour in that fight, and he hurt Andre in this fight in the first round. And first round just landed his shots, went crazy, held him against the cage for majority of the time, landed some takedowns and tried to submit him. Didn't really go his favor. And then the second round kind of, started gassing from all that fucking energy he expended in the first round. And Andre Puliev just started landing some nasty shots. Landed a nasty body kick, I believe, that really hurt Klein. And he didn't really recover from that and just took a couple more shots, went down, and Andre almost landed what looked like a soccer kick on the ground. So that could have almost been illegal, but he got the victory by KO. And good win by him. I don't know how far he can really go in this division if he's getting hurt by Decline, but we'll see. I like him. Rodolfo Vieira versus Tresean Gore. I picked Rodolfo to win this fight. I was right. Um, I will admit Tresean did look a bit better than I thought he would in the later rounds. But overall, Rodolfo Vieira is honestly on the striking. He looked better, which is shocking because I thought Tresean Gore was going to be the better striker coming into this fight. But Rodolfo Vieira, first three rounds, just took him down the first round, couldn't take him down the second round. Trayshawn's takedown defense did look a lot better than I thought it would. He really worked on that, but because of that, Rodolfo, with the threat of the takedown, I think Trayshawn Gore wasn't really doing anything else, and Rodolfo was able to land the better shots throughout the entire fight and just hold him against the fence and get the victory. Trayshawn Gore needs to work on a lot if he wants to have any success because while he can win some fights, he's not that good. But it was a good win by Rodolfo Vieira. He's old. I don't know what else he does, but we'll see. Rinya Nakamura versus Nathan Fletcher. I think I believe I picked Nathan Fletcher to win this fight. Or no, I picked Rinya. I don't know. Rinya ended up winning this fight. There was no other way about it when it happened. He landed a nasty shot onto Nathan's liver. And once that happens, you really, really can't react well because he got hit and he wins. You couldn't hide that. And as soon as Rinya saw that, he went for the finish and got the victory by I believe it was TKO. Yeah, TKO, body kick and punches. So it was a good win by Nakamura. Ended in the first round. We didn't really see much. His striking looked a bit better. He was winging some calf kicks a lot, but the fight ended so early that we didn't see enough. But he got a good victory over Nathan Fletcher, and he's back in the win column. So probably shut the haters up. Danny Silva versus Kevin Valaus. Whoo, boy, my God, dude, was this a fucking nail biter? I picked Kevin Valaus to win this fight. I thought he was going to be able to KO Danny Silva, and I should have known that was wrong because each and every second of this fight, Danny Silva was game. He was ready. He was in Valaus' face, putting on that pressure, especially in the third round. Kevin Valaus had to overcome so much pressure and adversity because Danny Silva just like, come on, come on, come on, come on. Like every fucking second, it's like, come on, hit me. And my God, I had it 1-1 going into the third. I thought Danny Silva took the first. He got a takedown at the end of the round, and the round was close enough that I think that takedown got him the round. And then the second round, I think Kevin, started turning it up a little bit, landing his better shots, landed his own takedown, and honestly landed a couple good combinations. But Danny's guard was pretty well. A lot of those shots did not get through the guard. And going to the third round, Danny Silva's pace and pressure was on. He was trying to finish this guy. But Kevin was able to land a takedown that ultimately helped him get the fight, probably. And it was a close fight. It could have gone to Danny, but I do agree with it going to Kevin. Kevin, I think he has to work on a bit. Definitely, this was at this point in his career, this was the right type of opponent to experience because ultimately, up until now, I think he's just been fighting guys that will quit, will get KO'd, and Danny Silva's not that guy. He is game every second of the fight, and he showed it. And gave Kevin a good fight for early in his career, so good win by Kevin. He'll definitely learn from this. Danny Silva, honestly, I'd love to see a rematch at some point in their career. I don't think it'll happen, but a rematch between these guys would be money. Neil Magny versus Elijah Zaleski of Dos Santos. Neil Magny got the win by TKO in the second round. Mostly because Dos Santos is stupid and for as many fights as Neil Magny has had in his UFC career, it baffles me up to this point that not one person has figured out. No, people have figured out, but a lot of people still can't fucking figure out. Do not clinch with Neil Magny. That's what he wants, dude. That's what he wants. And in the pure striking, Zaleski was landing some good shots. Neil Magny was landing his decent shots too. He looked long in this fight, and these shots looked crisp, and he looked He looked game, and you know, Zaleski played Neil Magny's game, held him in the clinch, and that honestly probably gassed Zaleski a little bit because Neil Magny in the clinch will beat every fighter. Didn't worked against him in the second round. He started gassing and he started working in Neil's favor, and Neil got him in a bad position. It was just raining down shot after shot after shot, and you had to stop it. You know, couldn't do anything at that point. And then, yeah, Neil Magny got the win. He's up to 23 wins now in the UFC career. Uh, Tied with a whole bunch of fighters, and right behind Jim Miller with 27. So decent win by Neil Magny. Yeah, I don't know what you do with the next. But uh, Carol Rosa versus Nora Cornoli. Carol Rosa got the victory by decision. Um, Looked game, looked on in this fight. It looked like she was, 2.0 of Carol Rosa, because in that first round it was kind of, pitter patter. Both were landing their shots. Nora Cornoli landed more shots, but in that second round, fucking Carol Rosa turned it on. Took her down, held her there, tried to submit her, landed so many shots, it was hurting her. And in the third round, same exact type of thing. So, kind of domination by Cara Rosa for the second and third round. Um, and just dominated North Crowley. She didn't really have much to do. So, it was a good win by Cara Rosa. Oh boy, guys. Elves Brenner versus Esteban Ribovic. What I predicted to be fight of the night, and it did. It was fight of the night. Esteban Ribovic got the victory in a very, very exciting fucking barn burner of a fight. I'm looking at the total strikes now. Fucking, they have the exact same amount of strikes landed, 123, but Esteban landed the more significant strikes. Brenner was only 4. Oh my god, dude! This fight was money. This fight was amazing, dude. Brenner was pushing forward early in the first round. Esteban, landing his counter shots, trying to land shots. My one problem with Esteban in his career is just at lightweight. I think his reach is not up to what I think it needs to be for this division, because he's winning these shots, but he's usually sometimes out of range because of his reach. But with a guy like Els Brenner who kept moving forward, Esteban worked into his favor if he was able to land his counter shots and land, the shots that hurt Brenner and land the kicks. But it was close. It could have been 1-1 going into the third. And in the third, both guys fucking pushed it to the limit. Both guys were landing damaging shots. And the chin on both these men is unreal. Any other fucking lightweight would go out with the shots these guys were throwing in this fight. And neither man got knocked down either. It's unreal that what these guys were able to do in this fight. And Esteban got a good win over Els Brenner. I was a bit worried for her in this fight because Els Brenner is kind of a game and dog type of fighter, but Esteban was able to land his better counter shots, hurt Elves a bit more, land the more damaging shots. Got a very good victory in an absolute barn burner of a fight. Sorry, burping. Great fight of the night, and let's move on to the next fight, because also fight of the night, Mateusz Rebecki versus Chris Duncan. This fight did not go as all as what I expected. I thought Mateusz Rebecki, was going to be able to just, use the feints of the takedown and land his shots and honestly put Chris Duncan away, because I thought Chris Duncan relied a lot on his durability to win his fights. And while he did rely on his durability, my God, dude. These dudes went to absolute war, man. Rebecki was already bleeding by the end of the first round. They were landing their shots. I gave Rebecki the first round. Second round, Chris Duncan, did what he had to do, landed his shots, hurt Rebecki even more, cut him up even more. Chris Duncan got cut up as well. And in that third round, Chris Duncan, I think, pulled the bit ahead and landed the more damaging shots and ended the round, landing the better shots, and that's ultimately what probably got him the victory. And honestly, this might be another nail biter of a fight, or probably it was another nail biter of a fight because, my God, dude, we got two. When have we ever seen two fight of the nights on the same night? I can think of one because it's a pay per view, but I can't think of any other type of fight night we've experienced this. Because the only other time I think was was it 236? UFC, I believe it was 236. Yeah, UFC 236, Holloway and Poirier 2, and then Gastelum and Adesanya. Those two fights back to back, fucking unreal. And then we get it tonight. Amazing, amazing show of heart for all four type of fighters, for all four fighters of the night, of these nights. I can't talk at all. So it was a great fight. It was amazing to see, and my God, that's what we need to see. Those are the type of fights that we like to see. All right. So great win by Chris Duncan, and honestly, I have become a Mateusz Rebecki fan. All right. Anytime this dude fights, you're gonna get an exciting fight. I don't. It don't. His Minovic Orlov fight, and now this dude. This guy comes to fight. I'm always gonna be tuning into a Rebecki fight now, and a Chris Duncan fight. Main event: Tatsuro Taira versus Hong Sung Park. Kind of went exactly how I thought it was going to go. Taira able to get the takedown, control him on the ground and get the submission into the second round. Um, Honestly, kind of what I expected. I was more excited for this fight than it was Amir Albazi. It was a good win for Tatsuro Taira, and it was good to hear him say, "I'm happy to go" in his post-fight speech because we didn't get that last time against Roy Ball. But hey, you got a good win. Um, Back in the win column, and honestly, dude, him versus Josh Fan is going to happen sometime in the future. And I guarantee you that's going to be I guarantee you that might be one of the best fights in flyweight history. And that's saying something because we've seen some nasty, amazing fights. Just now, Josh Van versus Brandon Royval, right? Figgy versus Moreno 1. It's like we've seen so many good fights. Moreno versus Pantoja. Like we've seen so many good fights in this division. So yeah, good win by Tatsuro Taira. Excellent Park will bounce back. And yeah, good win by him. And yeah, good win by Taira. Sucks for Park. He will be back. I'm still high on him. I do think he beats a lot of guys in this division. And yeah, honestly, I'd say give Taira. You can either run the Amir Albazi fight back, or yeah, honestly, Taira's next matchup, you could give him Nel Cop, or you can give him Kaikara or Amir Albazi. So yeah, good win by Taira. I'm excited to see him fight in the future, and yeah. But pay attention to any future recap video I'm going to be doing for all these fight nights and new and pay-per-views coming up. Especially UFC 319, which is not this coming week, but next week. Duplessis versus Chimaev, dude. The hype for that fight is unreal. I am so excited for that fight. And pay attention to any other videos me and my other host Jake are going to be making and producing. I am currently working on a promo video for Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. That probably most likely will happen at 322, and Jake and I are going to be there, so it's going to be fucking unreal and amazing. So, yeah, thank you all for watching. Leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe. Anything's appreciated. Share. And remember, all the greatest fighters leave it all in the final round. Peace.